Falaflahiatu, good evening. Leading our news bulletin tonight, banking services on the island reached a milestone last week with the transition from the Bank of South Pacific to the new Kiwi Bank agency. The Bank of the South Pacific began services on the island 8 years ago, following the departure of Westpac. According to the BSP country manager based in Fiji, Kevin McCarthy, BSP is proud of the 8 years they were able to provide banking services to the people of Niue, and that the new services provided by the Kiwi Bank agency will be able to deliver banking services at a more viable ongoing cost. However, as customers familiarize themselves with the new banking services and transfers from BSP to the Kiwi Bank agency, there have been claims by some customers that funds transferred to their accounts have been inconsistent. According to Kiwi Bank representative Natalie Hurley, they have been assisting customers with making claims for their BSP accounts where BSP have not transferred the balance of an account or the amount transferred was not what the customer was expecting. Mr. McCarthy said that they have been made aware of a small number of accounts where the balance was not correctly transferred, and that BSP is working to verify these accounts and have the value transferred as soon as possible. Customers are still able to contact BSP directly, and Kiwi Bank will continue to assist customers with their queries. Public servants were confused and disappointed today as the first pay salary using new bank services were delayed. For those who managed to get internet banking, a quick check of their balances this morning showed no salary deposits in their accounts. The Kiwi Bank agency have had a string of calls from confused customers and explained that they pay out what is in accounts, but are not responsible for posting or transferring funds for government salaries. According to the Treasury Department, the pays were posted on Friday as per usual, but due to the New Zealand banking systems, the pay should go through sometime today. In an email they sent to all staff, Treasury explained that there could be some delays because of the different bank processes and time differences. A Treasury representative also went on to explain that this is an opportunity to assess their internal processes and see where there can be improvements, which may mean having to process payments a day earlier. But considering this is the first time utilizing the internet banking feature, this new system may take a bit of getting used to. In the meantime, public servants will have to monitor their accounts online until funds come through sometime today before they're able to withdraw funds, hopefully by tomorrow. Treasury also apologized for the delay and say that they will work through this transition period to ensure the next pay due on the 21st of May will be processed in a timely manner. Vandalism to binoculars at the Anana site has shocked Niue tourism at the malice of such careless actions. The binoculars that were installed last year as part of tourism's developments initially for land-based whale watching. But Niue Tourism says that the binoculars have also been instrumental in the use for search and rescue missions, as well as entertainment for local children during the school holidays. Niue Tourism have offered a reward for information to identify the vandals and have shown disappointment over the thoughtless acts. The damage is substantial and has come as a bit of a surprise.
The whole top piece of the main part of the binoculars has been removed, which is the expensive part. That's where the main housing for the binoculars is. It was a very heavy duty set of binoculars and as a result very expensive. It was a bit of a surprise, but to say we were disappointed would be an understatement because we haven't seen this type of act here in Niue. If people know of any information relating to it, the Niue Police or in confidence the Niue Tourism Office would like to know. One thing that they did leave behind as a clue, because also one of our signs was ripped down, and it appears when they have pulled up to rip that sign down, they have also hit the rock wall, and as a result they've smashed the what is likely to be the right hand side headlight and right hand side indicator of their vehicle. So we would like to appeal for the community to have a look at the vehicles You know, their kids might have been driving it, they might have been driving it, a friend might have been, don't know, but if you see a vehicle driving around with a headlight missing, we would, well, the Niue Police and Niue Tourism would desperately like to talk to those people, again to find out what went on, and someone needs to take responsibility for this.
The damage is estimated to be worth over $10,000, and the matter has been referred to the Niue Police with investigations starting this week. Countries at the SIDSDOC conference in Suva continue to talk on donors and implementing agencies to expedite funds in order to progress forward in the renewable energy initiative set forth with SIDSDOC. David Payton, who has worked with Niue and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in New Zealand, said there needs to be an encouragement within donor agencies to ensure all countries' individual needs are addressed. Although funding traction is slow, Irina is also asking SIDSDOC how Pacific Island countries can clarify many of its incentives and where countries can take projects for implementation. One of the representatives said there needs to be a new viable and sustainable new markets for energy. Director of SPRIP, David Shepherd's request to the moderators of the meeting that more focus need to be directed at the Pacific and not just the Caribbean. Another area that needs addressing is consultants that are more robust mechanisms and should enhance to build national capacity. And that story was filed from Moana Ainuu in Suva, Fiji. 3 years of waiting finally paid off for Mutalo, taking up the Men's Kilikiki Championship for 2013. A decision by the Kilikiki Federation Committee to use a point grade average to settle a three-way tie in Pool B saw Mutalo proceed into the finals and Awasale settling to play for third. This has caused some concerns from teams as to the fairness of the decision, a matter that will need to be addressed for future competitions. However, the scorching sun turned up the heat for some fierce competition on Saturday. Mutalo were up against Hakupu on the pitch in Liku with 25 players each team. Mutalo proceeded to bat first with a total of 381 runs with 2 minutes to spare. After a brief break, Hakupu bat second. The young team put up a good fight, briskly running to catch up on the score, but Mutalo's fielding prowess proved hard to break. Hakupu only just missing out on top spot with 334 runs with 5 minutes to spare. The second place getters in each pool, Alofi versus Awasale, met on the field in Hakupu. Alofi bat first with a score of 313 runs before going for a break. Awasale had their chance to catch up, managing to secure 318 runs with only 12 batters, 10 out and 2 still on the pitch, securing them third place. In the end, it was Mutalo in first, Hakupu second, Awasale third and Alofi in fourth. Last Saturday also marked the awards presentation that was held at the Country Club in the evening, with the awards going to the following people. For stumping, first went to Tom Misikia, second equal Danny Panama, Clinton Chapman and Makapoe Sione. For the best fielders, first place went to Danny Panama, second Hakemotu Laufoli, third equal Daniel Makaya, Ikipa Misikia and New Maka Kayuha. As for the bowlers, first went to Helewini Selingi, second Wesley Silmanu and third Talavo Eniliko. The batters with the most scores, first placing went to Edward Sietu, second Hage Tongatule, third Simatane Vesi. And those were the awards that were distributed on the evening. As for the women's season, the Women's Committee are due to meet this week to discuss the Kilikiki competition for the women that should start on the 6th of July. Last Friday, Niue Primary School's assembly was cause for celebration as the school received some new equipment. Premier Tokitalangi revealed that this was made possible with funds donated by Matson and the Niue Philatelic. He also reiterated the importance of ensuring the school is properly resourced to add value to the education of upcoming generations. According to Education Minister Pokoto Sibili, he spoke briefly about how the school had made a request, but it was a matter for government to find funds that have now finally been received. Minister Sipili presented the electric fans to student representatives from each class, and the new television screen and DVD player will be installed in the library. As these were gifted to the school, there was a subtle reminder for students and staff to take care of the equipment that it may benefit the whole school. Appreciation for the arts has increased on the island, especially following exposure during the Niue Arts and Cultural Festival a few weeks ago. For some visiting artists, they took the time to work on some visual displays to be left on the island. Niue High School received a rather unexpected gift from renowned animator Maka Makatoa. As a well-known animator who was the creative mastermind behind Brotown and has worked on various projects in New Zealand, Maka's first trip to Niue inspired him to work on a piece to leave as a memento. The Peka and Unga mural has a rather transformer-type look to it and has been placed in the computer room at the library up at Niue High School until an appropriate location is found. Another project initiated as a street art project to beautify abandoned buildings has also been completed. According to the coordinator of this project, Alexa Shaw, the process to secure the buildings and permission for the project to progress forward actually run quite smoothly. The small hut near Crazy Unga has been painted with hiapo motifs in bright colours, while another building just across the road has a flying canoe, or vakalele. The artwork has definitely brightened up some of the buildings, and we spoke with Alexa to find out what the concept for the project was.
Abandoned buildings are a pretty big part of Niue. Everything you read about Niue, they mention the abandoned buildings, and so I thought it seemed pretty obvious to me to beautify these buildings and just give them a bit of temporary uplift. If they stay, that's awesome. If they get pulled down, then that's sweet as well. Well, I first started thinking about this about October last year, and since then it's been trying to secure buildings and come up with designs and find artists to help participate in it. Yeah, it's taken, we're up to week 3 now, and we're hoping for them to be finished like really, really soon.
The project was completed over the weekend, and the hope is that the artwork may inspire aspiring artists on the island to get in touch with their creative talents. And that concludes our news bulletin for today. We do hope that you can join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.